And welcome back, everybody, to the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today, Mr. Dave Filoni. Welcome. It's good to see y'all back. We're back to talk Clone Wars. I've never been so happy to be back about anything. I had my Penny Dreadful stream earlier. Shout out to everyone who came to that. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. It was great. Mr. Burt was there, and I,
yeah,
I don't even know if you watch it, man, but I appreciate the support.
yeah, dude. I was just trying to give you get the watch times up. I don't watch the show, but hearing your idea, your take on it, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good, and it was good to see them put in social themes that are relevant to the time. Like, I did research, and I never knew that half the stuff they were talking about really happened. It's real deal history, so it's not political agenda, and I can appreciate a historical piece. Once again, weird timing. I think there's something to be said about the timing of bringing it up, but it's all real events. It all happened. They just changed names and people, but the events were still true. So, I mean, I could appreciate that, and it's a different angle, and I appreciate everyone who came, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about, I'm just going to say, landmark episode, marquee, top tier Star Wars. I thought we wouldn't get this in 2020. I thought that Star Wars wouldn't have anything good in these new years. But I was wrong, and I'm so glad to be wrong. I'm so happy to be here giddy to talk about this episode. So, we got Mr. LB and Mr. Burt. So let me start by getting your guys' impressions before we jump into this episode. And shout out to Theo and Perp Minded and Happy Dinosaur. Happy birthday to you too, sir. Anyways, let me just get your guys' initial thoughts before we dive into this. Mr. LB, let's start with you. What did you think about this episode?
Man, I loved it. I love the callbacks to Rogue One, Episode 3. Um, I think there was some other callbacks and stuff. I mean, I loved the music. I mean, they used the music from like previous stuff, and then like just the whole tension of the episode. Man, Maul wasn't in it much, but he wasn't wasted in this episode at all. Everything counted. Man, the droids, Ahsoka, man, everything in the episode I loved. I had a minor nitpick about it, but I mean that's pretty much most of the episode, and this nitpick is pretty much might be the most petty nitpick of all. Is that we didn't get anything else like any outside scenes. We was just at that one spot for the whole episode. But I mean that's
Mm.
petty.
Yeah, and here's the thing. No episode of television ever or movie is 100% perfect. You can take anything, even something that's considered a classic, and find something. But what counts is the fact of whether or not did you enjoy it. And I think
Yep.
we can all agree we enjoyed the hell out of this episode. Bert, I know you've been dying. You were even getting into some of it when we did late night talk weekends. What did you think of
um, I'm right there
this
with you
episode?
guys. This is an amazing episode. This has been an amazing arc. The first thing that jumped out to me was the music and the pace and tone of this whole episode was amazing. And but I got to say, this is my least favorite of the arc.
Oh, interesting.
It's
Nice
still
hot
great.
take
It's
there.
still great. It's still
Yeah.
great. This is top tier Clone Wars. But if I'm being honest, I like the first two episodes just a little more. But I can't wait to see all four of them as one whole thing put together because this has been this. I'm in my heart. I know this is going to end up being an incredible Clone Wars movie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. Like, and it comes. This is what happens when you make a good product, whether it's movie or TV show, shoes, whatever. If it's good, if it's top tier product, you're like it's hard to say each thing is your favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone is not going to be the greatest. It's like the first Air Jordans. Okay, the second ones are great too, but I prefer the first Air Jordans. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to
Yeah.
be with things that are good. So yeah, you can't go wrong with saying, okay, this is my least favorite episode. It's like, picking your 3 kids, which are, F these kids,
Exactly.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I just like one of them more. That's okay.
This is that's a testament to how what a good job they've done on this arc. The brilliance, the people who are writing this episode, who are drawing it, making the music for it. They love Star Wars, and they've put their heart into this arc, and I'm grateful that I get my friend Star Wars back.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm gonna take a different position than Bert. I'd say out of all three, this one was my favorite one. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna take the other position just because I am a fan of the game. What was it when you throw people around? Shit. Force Unleashed. There we go. I'm a fan of Force Unleashed, and watching Maul go through that hallway reminded me of playing Star Killer in Force Unleashed, because the shit that Maul does in this episode is savage. Like, if you had any doubts of this guy being the GOAT, just think about this. When Order 66 came down, right, most of the Jedis were caught sleeping, right? They had no advance notice, and Ahsoka got a little bit more of a notice and escaped. But, I mean, so most of them were outnumbered, right? Same situation. Maul actively goes in a hallway with no lightsaber, grossly outnumbered. He's using clones' bodies. He's using the side of the halls. He's using everything, smashing people, cutting arms off. I mean, he's just savage. He is a savage beast. And I loved finally getting a scene, seeing him unleash fully. And we're not even talking about lightsaber skills. We've seen enough of him with his lightsaber. We know he's deadly with the lightsaber. But to see the way he wields the Force, and people question how great his character is, if anyone had any doubts, Maul's a beast. Maul is savage. Like, he's a great villain. Like,
did you want to say something, Bert?
Oh no, I'll go after you, Obi. I want to hear what you got to say.
I was going to say, it's funny that you mentioned the Force Unleashed. That it reminds you of that. It reminded me of the Darth Vader, the second scene in Rogue One.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that when he goes through the hallway at the end. I will.
That's what it reminded me of too.
It's crazy having a different perspective.
He also
I know not everyone played that video game, but for me, I remember in the game there is a section of the game where you're on, I believe it's like one of the Star Destroyers, and you have to escape from like one of the flagships, and you have to use bulkheads and tear them out of the wall and use them as shields, and then projectile throw them to like clear the hallway of all of these men. So seeing Maul do that and then like squish people in between the two of them, and dude, the violence, man, they're pushing that TV PG that they got like to the max. Like, Disney, I'm sorry I questioned Disney, I'm not chilling here, but Disney, I am sorry I questioned what boundaries you were willing to push, because they pushed that to the limit. Like,
I mean, they're pretty clever. They was pretty clever with the cuts.
Yes.
Yeah, that camera cut for the arm, they didn't have to show it, but they gave you an idea, and then they showed like the side of it, and I still got the same effect. I was like, he just amputated this clone's arm off of his body. Like, this shit got dark fast.
It really did. He reminded me of Magneto in that scene. The way he's wielding the Force. That's what came to my mind. But I definitely see Rogue One after LB said that.
Oh, you know what? The scene in X-Men 2 when he escaped the prison.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. There's, that's the great thing. There's so many things you could reference to this one scene. And I just want to point out, to their credit, this is a animated show
Mm.
that is giving us nostalgic throwbacks here, where you can almost name a bunch of different particular scenes that you've seen that this is reminiscent of, and it's just astonishing. And once again, you guys jumped the gun on it, but yeah, the music for it felt epic. Like
Mm.
going through the hallway, it felt like, you know, old school Star Wars, like, New Hope and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Like, it had that epic feel and the tension that was building. And, you know, I know they're gonna escape, but holy fuck, they get cornered, you know, and there's emotion. I mean, let's just dive into this. So right off the bat, this episode does not play around. We got Ahsoka talking to Rex. They have a nice little moment about how, what are you gonna do now that the war is over and stuff. And seeing that scene, I was under the impression that Rex got rid of his chip. I had to go back and I forgot that he knew about it, but he hadn't yet gotten rid of his own.
Mm-hmm.
And they buried the report. And so going back through and then watching this again, I was like, whoa, like, he's gonna totally betray her. And that's my boy. My boy is Rex. Like, he's one of the few clones who has like the dual blasters. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone has their thing, and that's his thing, and I love it. I like the dual wielding. And like seeing that scene. And I wanted to point out something now that we were to the betrayal. Did you guys notice how she didn't try to reflect the blaster bolts at the clones? She kind of like deflected them off to the side. Did you guys catch that when they're shooting at her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, hey man, this ain't y'all fault.
Yeah, she's not like actively trying to kill them, and this definitely cements the the um the badassery of Ahsoka. Do you know how hard it must have been for her to deflect the blaster bolts just enough so that they go off to the side, but not too much to where she's like shooting them back at him?
Yeah, dude. If they tried that shit on Anakin, he'd be pretending they killed his mom.
Yo, I thought about that. Like, yo, if Anakin's in that scene, he'd be like, I'm sorry, guys. We had a good run. All of them would have been dead in that.
Out of there immediately.
He would have been force choking people, slamming them up against. But Ahsoka had, and that was the thing. This whole episode was very graceful with her. And I like the contrast, once again, going back to the Darth Maul scene. I like the contrast between the two scenes. Like, you see Ahsoka concerned about saving life. She's elegantly shooting shit off to the side, kicking people, trying to take them out without hurting them, going up a vent, things like that. Where Maul is just like, I'm a bad guy. I ain't got time to be putting on the kids' gloves. Everyone in this hallway is dying. Done. Dead. I'm positive he killed like 20 clones. They lost like half their armada in that hall.
I mean,
Yeah.
he a Sith.
And I always like to compare people in the Star Wars universe to NBA players. And I'm thinking Darth Maul is definitely Hakeem Olajuwon, and he just happens to be in the same time as Michael Jordan, who's Sidious. You know what I mean? So great.
I would say for your NBA comparison, Patrick Ewing would be the much better name.
Yeah. I think he's better than Ewing though. Maybe I was thinking Isaiah Thomas too, but I don't know.
The reason I say that is because Patrick Ewing, if the Bulls weren't around, if Michael Jordan wasn't around, I think the Knicks might have won a title or two.
Yeah.
So it's like Patrick Ewing could be more like, hey, I'm good, but we got this other guy that's just too good for me.
So let's I'm jumping around, but let's talk about the first scene. One thing I want to highlight, that moment where Rex turns on Ahsoka. I don't know about you guys, but that shit was heartbreaking because he is clearly like trying to control it. See his hand shaking for a split second. I want to say he gave her the time to kind of realize that there was something going on, because I've seen Commander Rex go. Like when Rex gets into kill mode, he's just like quick draw. But for a split second, he draws his gun and then his hand is shaking, and like you see him like fidgeting around with the trigger. Like he's like not putting enough pressure. He's trying to give her time and fight whatever is going on. The other clones are like, fuck it, they activated. That's a done deal. So she's worried about these people. He could have shot her in the back, like old home girl. What was her name? The one everyone talks about, which I don't know why, because she got dead in like 5 minutes looking at some flowers.
Right. Like, well, dude, they hella give her a heads up. They're like, he's like, no, I'll do it, fellas. Like she's just gonna let you put the gun to her temple and shoot her, you know? That was kind of like, and then he kept saying fives, check on fives, you know? So like he was trying to give her the time, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, it was so heartbreaking to see that exchange, and for a split second I was thinking, how is Rex going to be in Rebels, because it's looking like she's gonna like take him out. But I was like, yo, I think we have a major story inconsistency here. but no, he was fighting all the way through it. Speaking of fighting, PB, what's up?
Not much. I feel like all of you were overselling this episode.
Oh, great. We got a really good hot take. Give me your initial impressions and thoughts, and then we're kind of just going through the episode. But what did you think of the episode? And
I thought that it was good, not great, especially coming off the previous episode. I thought more was going to happen. I thought I was going to see more instead of them standing around talking about it.
I mean, what about the hallway scene with Maul?
Honestly,
yeah, that was cool.
I have my counter argument to this. Now, I know I'd be a hypocrite, so I'm pointing out my hypocrisy right now. For most of this, I pretty much say for all of the season, I was like, man, I need to see Order 66. I need to see this. I need to see that happen. But then it's like watching this episode, and it's like, we saw this happen in episode 3. So it's like, we didn't get a clone point of view in episode 3. And then like, so why would we need to see what we've seen already happen again? We're just getting another point of view, which is Ahsoka and, Rex. So that's why I didn't have a problem with it, despite me saying all season, I need to see Order 66. I need to see Anakin do this. I need to see that. So I'm cool with it.
Can I bring up one problem I did have too that you'd maybe just think of now? It's like, and I thought about this earlier. It's like, how come Ahsoka could sense and understand what Sidious is saying, that whole scene with Sidious, Mace, and Anakin, verbatim, but Obi-Wan didn't sense that.
Was that Obi-Wan's stupid?
Do you think Obi-Wan was just blocking it out because, like, how you would if, like, you think when your son becomes a school shooter or something?
You make a good point.
It was more of a school stabber and slicer.
My only answer to that, and I don't know how legitimate this is. This is my Obi-Wan bias. Obi-Wan's just stupid, and after me rewatching Attack of the Clones, bro, I don't like Obi-Wan because this is all his fault. He could have stopped this.
Yeah, that's a really hot take.
Well, if they never sent Anakin with a heart on to hang out with Padme all summer, this shit wouldn't have gone down either. Hey,
Anakin was a teenager and he wanted this the goodies. I can forgive him for that.
Yeah, I can't either. But you gotta know what's gonna happen if you send him alone with her,
Well, here, getting off track and talking about this for a second, here's the thing. Like you guys said, how do you send this young kid just starting out in the world of Jedi, kind of a badass, but not really established? How do you say, okay, you're gonna protect this hot ass Naboo lady on her home
Princess.
planet with no supervision, and you guys, hey, separate rooms, no sleeping together, and you're on the couch. And like, come on, who's gonna? Have you
Hey,
seen Natalie Portman?
That's
Who's
what
gonna say no to that?
this is what these Jedi's think. This is what them Jedi's think. Like they think you know.
It was a test,
Yeah, there you go.
I'd have failed. I'd have failed
and
consecutively.
he failed the test just like I would have.
But you know what
Like,
though? Hey, your boy Obi-Wan passed. He didn't let Satine touch that peen.
We don't know that.
we don't know that.
Right.
It's
Don't know
an
that.
animated show.
I think it was.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say yes because you know,
I didn't think so.
I have the Clone Wars uncut seasons. shout out to King Sloan.
Let up, kick slow. You know, here's the thing. I refuse to think that you get a bond like Obi-Wan had without tapping that. Like, my man was ready to defy the council, and Obi-Wan, I can count on my hands how many times he's ever defied anything. He's a yes man. But he was like, nah, I gotta go save her. Like, you don't put your career at risk like that unless you're getting that. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
I don't think there wasn't a scene we didn't see, maybe a cut from the original Clone Wars where he had one night with her.
Well, if that's the case, then I hope he hate fucked Ventress.
Oh, you talking about
Oh.
the Cinemax Clone Wars?
Yeah. Pre-cum the Clone Wars has.
But no, so we get the cool fight scene, we get the emotional back and forth between Rex, and then shit goes down. I gotta say that I like the scene where she's in that little room and she's looking around and she's deflecting all of those blaster bolts, and then she cuts the vent thing and jumps into the top of it. Like,
I don't think she
What's-
cut anything. I think all of the blaster bolts opened the hole.
yeah, because she was deflecting away from the clones. She wasn't trying to take anyone out, whereas Maul took the different
Not
approach. And
initially.
he said, Maul was like, yeah, fuck these clones. I'm getting out of here. And he's just going through killing people because
Hey.
he doesn't care.
Do you think so? Then you got to put some of that murder on Ahsoka. We were just saying Ahsoka didn't do anything, but she had to know what Maul would do to the clones if she released them, right?
100%. Dude, he's decapitating people, trying to break people at the pelvis. I thought that he was going to grab a gun for a moment, but he didn't. I mean, that
Yeah, it looked
scene
like
was
it, 'cause he
awesome.
snapped to his gun. I was like, is he going to do an Obi-Wan right now? And be like, guns are so uncivilized.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do seriously the what is it, the Magneto, and have them all put the guns to their own heads and shoot themselves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought he
That
was
would've
going to
been
make them.
interesting.
I thought he was going to make them float and start shooting them. Like, you just see a bunch of guns surrounding him, and he's just shooting
Yeah.
everyone as he's walking down the hall. I mean, but dude, that scene was pretty good. So, you know, let's talk about that hallway scene. And PB, I don't know if you played the game, but I said that scene reminded me of Force Unleashed because he was walking through and grabbing structures and whacking people with them and using clones as shields.
Oh,
and
yeah, there had
Force-
to have been some inspiration from that game.
Yeah, I was half expecting him to pull like a TIE fighter out of the air. Like, I was like, holy shit, dude, this is the most. That scene is the most forced wielding I would say I've seen across even the movies. Like, there was a lot of force wielding in this episode. This is probably the most I've seen a Jedi use their powers.
I mean,
I mean,
maybe there was no lightsaber duel.
That's why you didn't like it.
It was a disappointment.
Man,
Like, I love me some lightsaber duel. Like, that's a big part of Star Wars for me. And when I don't get one, there's got to be a lot of other stuff going on to distract me. And the only fucking thing that I could think is Ahsoka peeks out from behind the corner as the clones run past. And I was like, this is not how you do a fucking box search when you're looking for somebody on your vessel, but it is how you can get your steps in for the day. Son of a bitch.
So, there was some callbacks here. We saw the droids get utilized in this one. What did you guys think about that scene? I thought it was pretty good.
I didn't realize that she spoke such fluent droid.
Yeah, she's done it since like the beginning of the Clone Wars. I guess she learned it from Anakin because he would speak to the droids. I don't know if
I
they have their
guess.
own language. I really don't know
Like
how
they
that
beep
works.
boop and bop in certain beep boop and orders. Like I don't know how they say SOS, but they can do it.
Mhm.
I think they do that thing where they shake and then it's like.
I thought the droids played their part well in this episode.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was perfect because I was sitting there. I was like, okay, how are they gonna get Rex to wherever the hell she's gonna take him? And I thought for a second that she was just gonna like pick him up with the Force and like drag him along. And then they all lined up. I was like, oh man, that's fucking great.
Yeah, I like how the droid shocked the shit out of him, and she looked. She was like, "We're not trying to kill him," and it goes. I was like, "That droid just said, what do you want, lady? He's pointing a gun." That's why I took
Yeah,
that
he reminded me of
translation.
Chopper.
Oh man, Chopper's one of my favorites, and that droid was so sarcastic. It was hilarious. I like that they can give something that basically doesn't really speak, but those droids had a lot of personality to them, and I loved it. I thought it worked very well. A lot of good stuff. So we're moving along. They get to the big scene with Maul. He decapitates people and does what he does. We get Rex and Ahsoka trying to make Rex is trying to capture Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's trying to make her way off the ship. They go to the
Dude, no,
pods to
that
make sure.
door, that door cut that guy's fucking arm off. And that's going to be important because he needs that piece to, I don't know, open some stuff up. What does it control?
I mean, he can shoot with the other hand though. He did have the blaster in the other hand, so
I don't care about him shooting with the other hand. Like, obviously, I wish I could have seen more of it, but it's a cartoon. But, I mean, you don't even get to see any more of it when they cut that guy in half in The Mandalorian. So, seeing the guy's arm just lay there at the end, that was freaking spectacular.
Oh yeah, they were very. We were talking about this earlier. They were very clever in how they did the camera cuts to where you got the idea of what was going on, and it was dark as shit. Like, man, it was good. There was some good stuff. But long story
I
short,
don't need to see a whole bunch of blood if I see some guy's head rolling down the hallway.
yeah, this is a kid's show. Just the implication can be a lot more effective than just showing a head getting cut off and blood splurting out. I think it's a lot worse to see someone's arm and they cut it the way they did, or hear a break or something like that and go, ooh, that shit hurt. Like, that's more effective than actually showing the brutality behind it. Sound effects can be very key when you're putting stuff like this together. PB, what did you think of the music? Because we were talking about it. Did it make you feel like it was a Star Wars movie almost, with how dramatic the cues were and things like that?
Dude, I thought I would give the score probably like, that's damn near a 10. Like, the score was great. It felt exactly like a movie. That's what it felt like. The music gave you the emotion that you were supposed to be feeling, before the moment even happened.
That was
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah, I don't have a response. Like, yeah, right on. PB summed it up. Damn it, PB, I never knew you were this deep, man.
Did y'all
Thank you.
did you notice the voices during the Order 66 part?
Yeah.
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 That was a nice touch.
I did not. What was it? What did I miss?
Go ahead, Obi.
Yeah, you missed Randy Orton speaking his voices in Ahsoka's head.
Oh,
Hey, no, but you guys heard though there was the real people. It was like Hayden Christensen, you know, Samuel L. Jackson. It was the actual scene from Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the screams out loud and stuff. Now, going back to that moment, do you think, like, she felt it, but do you think she got a flash of what was going on, or do you think it was just the montage of voices? Because it felt like she got a more of an understanding, like, oh shit, Anakin is actually going through with this. I couldn't tell if
you
it was
think
just,
she saw a vision?
yeah, she's a powerful Jedi.
Visions are reserved for Rey.
Ugh. Jesus. Yeah, oh, I forgot Purpose
No,
in
I
here.
only think that she heard the voices and felt something just like Maul asked her.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think she's
Maul
well
felt it
versed
too.
enough in the Force to be seeing visions, or her metachlorian count isn't high enough. She's no chosen one.
The midichlorian count has been debunked. It was just a thing that Qui-Gon used to get into the Smee panties.
Mm.
Did I miss that in your watch along?
Yes, you did.
Oh boy.
Damn it.
So yeah, we had that scene, and then the final. Like, I don't know about you, but that ending was pretty intense, and I like how Ahsoka, even though we could argue she unleashed Maul because she knew he was going to kill people for her, she's still on that. She didn't want to kill any of the clones. Rex wakes up and starts shooting his own people.
Rex knew what's up.
He like,
Well,
hey,
yeah.
wait a second, what's going on? Like,
They're- That's because they're not clone troopers anymore. Them are stormtroopers.
like, yeah, I was laughing when Rex came to. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "God damn, my man's reflex did not suffer whatsoever." He's like, "Close the door."
No,
He's like, "I
he
just
just
killed
had
two
a
of my
bit of
homeboys."
brain surgery. He'll be fine.
Like nothing was hampered. He had the whole gauze on the back of his head, didn't miss a beat. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to start killing people now, so that sucks. I drank with Clone 88 over there."
They didn't even give these clones names this episode. Like where was Sylvester and Sterling and all of that?
Yeah.
I see what Disney did. Like they ain't want to give them names, so you couldn't resonate with who was getting murdered.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure
nobody gives
Sylvester
a
and them
fuck
got
about a stormtrooper.
Sylvester and them got beat down by Maul in the previous scene. So I don't know, man. It was crazy. Like I just liked how Rex snapped out of it, and then bam, he started going to town, and then they locked the door, but they're going to cut through it, and it looks as if they are trapped, and there is nowhere for them to go. So
Yo,
that's
Zod,
pretty much the episode.
I think that's Darth Maul coming into the door.
I was gonna ask, who do you think it is? I don't think it's Darth Maul.
If it's not Darth Maul, then he's about to kill who's ever doing that. He's there.
I don't know who it is, but I don't think it's Darth Maul. And watch my prediction be 100% incorrect.
Um, it's interesting because Darth Maul doesn't have his lightsaber, and it looks like they were using some kind of soldering tool, like the ones they use to cut open doors.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say there's clones, but I don't think it'd be too far off that Maul would be on his way. Because here's the thing: we don't know in relation, as far as the ship goes, how close he is to all of them, or even where he's trying to go. He might circle back around because he doesn't know where to go to get out. And the only logical thing to do would be to save them so he can get to an escape
He's
pod.
very, very close. Him and Ahsoka have a deep emotional connection.
Yeah, an emotional connection of hatred. I love my favorite line in the episode was when she's like, "Why don't you just go and do what it is you're good at?" I was like, "Damn,
Cause
facts."
chaos.
I love that scene where she pulled up on him and Maul's like, yes, we're going to team up. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, bruh. No.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for you.
Yeah.
Because
That
that got me. I was like, oh, they're gonna break their way off the ship. They're gonna find something and they're gonna be good to go. And she's like, nah, man, I set you free, but go get yourself killed and be my distraction, you peon.
I felt like that was an excuse for her to be able to kill clones because she's all like, "These are my friends and I'm their commander. I don't really want to kill them." Hey, Maul, tag, you're it.
Hmm.
You go take out like 20 of these guys, and while they're over here, I'm going to be saving Rex, who I really care about, and you can fuck right off. And that's what I felt like she was doing.
That's a little bit of Anakin rubbing it off on her, saving the ones that you care about, which isn't really the Jedi way, right?
Well, she already said, I'm not, like, because they were like, Yoda was all like, "Oh, you can join the council again, you can."
Can we
And she
talk
was
about
like,
that?
"Nah."
Mace Windu told her to go get fucked. She's like,
yeah.
he's like,
No,
That's
when-
why they
when
pulled
Rex-
the rank.
hey, big down.
When Rex came to, I got upset too, because he said that Order 66 meant they were supposed to execute all the Jedi Knights. When the fuck did Darth Maul become a Jedi Knight?
No, they addressed that because he said
When?
when he was in the bridge, he said, "Kill all the Jedi Knights," and then he said, "And go kill Maul." So he included him in the thing. I think it was a broad, like, Jedi in general.
No, I know that. And then after he came to and was like, hey, this is what the program told us to do, it's just killing Jedi Knights. So where's the connection to kill somebody who is supposedly on the other side just because they're a Force user? Like, why did they say Jedi when they really mean Force user?
It could just be
I'm lost.
Words have meaning, and it's pissing me off.
Okay,
It could be
I'm
just
lost
a-
here, bro. So explain it. Y'all got to break this down now.
What do you mean?
You're saying that the whole Maul thing, and that's where I'm lost at.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, after he gets the chip removed,
Okay.
he wakes up and tells Ahsoka that Order 66 was an order to kill all the Jedi Knights.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
When was Maul ever a Jedi Knight?
I understand that part, but like, okay, why is the Maul connection? Because the clone
Why
troopers
were they
shooting-
supposed to kill Darth Maul when Order 66 was executed
No,
if he's not a Jedi Knight?
I understand that part, but what I'm missing is when did they say kill Maul?
in the beginning
Yeah,
when
Who said-
when he sends them up.
right after
Rex.
Ahsoka disappears. When she jumps up that shaft, says, go kill Maul.
Who says it?
Rex.
Commander Rex.
Okay, he said it when they turned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they had. I mean, this is me based on what was just said because I don't remember fully, but maybe that was also an instruction from Palpatine that they put into their chips. Because also remember from episode 3, like Palpatine basically told Anakin to get all the evil people out of here. So that's a possibility.
Oh yeah, because he was tying up loose ends.
So Maul was a loose end. That's my guess.
That's one hell of a loose end.
I mean, that's my guess. I could be 100% wrong, but you know, that's just a guess.
I guess I just wish they would have either used different terminology or not really addressed it outright like that, even since they had Maul address it when she lets him out. Like, that lets all of us know, oh, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is one of those things that you can use it open to interpretation. But I mean, that's just based off what we just was mentioned. That's my guess, and we all know I'm not a Star Wars guru here.
I stuck out this back real quick, but did you guys? I mean, why didn't Obi-Wan pick up on it though? You know, you would think he has as much of a connection to Anakin as Ahsoka does.
We've established Obi-Wan, and he's just an idiot. Hey,
no, I mein,
Dooku's like, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm telling you every single thing. Nah, bro, you evil. You can't be right. Nah, go away. Oh my goodness, Dooku was right.
Shit, yeah.
So, all in all, pretty solid episode. Before we go into our rating, let's pick out some scenes that we like and some scenes that we don't like. I'll start with Mr. LB. What is your favorite scene, and then what is your least favorite scene in this episode?
Man, golly, I know for a fact this is going to be completely different than what I said the other night. But I think my favorite scene was, yeah, it is completely different because I even said that I was probably going to change my mind in a few days. My favorite scene was when Ahsoka and Maul first met back up, and she was on some, and Maul was, like I said earlier, he was just so excited to see Ahsoka came back for him, and they were gonna team up, take over the galaxy, and then he was gonna kill her, and then she's like, no, this is not how it's going to go. This is not going to be that typical TV show movie where the bad guy and the good guy teams up. I'm just using you for a reason. We ain't friends right now, homie. I love that scene. Ahsoka was letting it hang on Maul.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. That was hilarious. And she had such contempt too. You could hear it in her voice. Like
she was fed up. I think the other night I said my favorite scene was the Order 66 part where like Palpatine was going over it. But hey, whatever, man. I could change my mind. I'm only human.
Correct.
And now,
you're not parents.
What's your least favorite moment in the episode?
If I was to say a least favorite moment, which it's not really that big of a deal to me, it would be when they just magically remove the chip just like that, and they're doing the whole that force. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm just like, bruh.
And that's from Rogue One, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, man, I mean, it ain't something like I could be mad at. It's like if I have to pick one, that's my least favorite scene.
You know, as far when you're talking about that scene where they removed it so fast the chip from his head, it reminded me of Prometheus. You know, in Prometheus when they give her the C-section real quick. So
it's like, look, we only got 3 more minutes of this episode left. Let's get this rolling. Chip out.
We don't got a solid 5 minutes to go over the procedure and stuff like that. We can't build no tension. Just bam, you're good. On in the next scene. Yep. That PB, I think we've heard this answer, but what would be your most favorite scene and then your least favorite scene?
Oh, my most favorite scene is definitely the hallway scene. You got Darth Maul picking up shields, well, doors, to use as shields, Force Unleashed style, chopping people's heads off with them, chucking people against the wall, chopping arms off. I thought it was freaking spectacular. And then the one that pissed me off the most is, yeah, the one that I brought up before. When they're searching for Ahsoka, they're just sprinting down hallways randomly. I don't even think they're looking around corners. They're just running for their lives, getting their steps in like, motherfucker, I only been sitting around all day. I had some cornflakes for breakfast, and I need to get my steps in before we got to go back for lunch. So just keep running. Did you see something over there? No, I need to get my steps in. Keep running.
this, this gives me a whole new perspective on this scene. Thank you. You have forever messed up that hallway scene because I'm just gonna be waiting to see the clone looking down at his Fitbit, going, "All right, 10 more steps. We'll reach 100 for today." I'll get the little signal with the fireworks and everything.
Right. It's all about personal goals.
Oh, Mr. Burt, what was your favorite scene and then your least favorite scene of this episode?
What's easy to say, my favorite scene was the Darth Maul scene, but I'd say the favorite scene I'll go with is when Rex and Ahsoka talk and they discuss what the war has meant to them. And Rex says, without the war, clones would have never been born. I thought that was a great scene. Probably my favorite.
Ooh, all right, going for the emotional weight.
Mm-hmm. But my least favorite is definitely I hate Bo-Katan, and the opening scene. I just hate seeing Bo-Katan. She's like, oh man, it sucks that I'm just so good at killing. I've never been good at anything else, and I wish I had a baby. Like that was what pretty much I could skip.
I forgot that scene was in the episode. Like when that happened, I'm like, bruh, go find a hobby or something. Like
yeah. Learn some recipes, have a baby.
Yeah.
She's never smiled once.
But you hate all things Bo-Katan, like all things.
See, Burr, I'm sorry. I like Bo-Katan. Like, I don't know. I like that character. And the way you talk about her, man, it's like, God damn, like, did she piss in your cornflakes? Like, you hate this character. It was like such a hatred.
I've never seen her look without that frown. Like she always looks like she's eating piss-filled cornflakes, bro. She's never smiling. She's never happy. You think she'd at least be happy when she's killing people. She's never happy, And it should have been Satine that lived and not her.
Oh.
Oh,
well,
damn,
just in
man.
case you forgot, during the Captain Marvel controversy, you shouldn't ask women to smile.
I shouldn't have to.
Oh, man. Like, yeah. Like, no,
Herb said his favorite scene is the end credits.
So, yeah. I'd have to say my favorite scene was the part where Order 66 came down and I saw Rex struggling with himself. I like those little details, like fighting the programming and like the look that Ahsoka gives to him and the back and forth. Like, I like scenes where you can express a lot without having to talk, where it's just like a stare says like a lot, and she is just like, fight it, and he's like, I am, but you need to get out of here, kind of a thing. Like, bitch, run. And she's still trying to be like, it's not you, blah blah blah. See, she handled it better than me, because I'd have just started killing everyone. Like, it'd been like, sorry, we had a good run, but I would have had to take out that whole bridge. But that I like that scene. I'd have to say my least favorite scene was probably I did not like the whole chip scene. Actually, kind of annoyed me because what LB said, it felt very like oh, the chip is still in your head. Oh, we got it out. Okay, we're all good. There's like no explanation of how they did it. Is it dangerous? You went inside a man's brain and under stress. Like, how is she concentrating? There's
Of course,
clones.
there's no explanation because Star Wars isn't allegedly sci-fi.
I mean, there's clones outside the door. They are cutting through, so you got that pressure, and top surgeons would have a hard time working under that pressure. But you got her doing the whole callback to Rogue One, and then like they just magically pull it out. No complications, no nothing. She doesn't even break a sweat. Like, no, whew, that was a close one. I almost pulled to the left instead of going to the right. None of that. She was just like, zoop. All right, we're good. Here's what's been going down, and we need to get the fuck up out of here. Like, just the jump was kind of jarring because it's like it takes you out of that intensity, because that's supposed to be like an intense scene. Like, oh, she's under this crunch, and then she just like does it in 5 seconds.
Feel
I'm like,
the Force, Zod.
I'm sorry, but that for me was very annoying. I hate when a scene does not build enough tension given the way that they set it up. I think that
Look, bro.
you're gonna lose something in 25 minutes, but that feels like pretty important.
Look here, man. They had 3 minutes left. They ain't had time for all that, bro. time to just deal with it.
No, but I'm just saying, man, you're digging in someone's brain.
Look, man. This was the cartoon moment where the good guys are getting beat up for 95% of the episode, and then the music starts to hit, and then that last 5% is when the heroes take over, win, and then they have a scene at the end. They're happy and doing something random. That's what happens.
I don't know. All I'm saying is,
Go watch the He-Man cartoon, buddy. That was that moment.
Like it was just annoying. I'm just like, I feel like it's one of the moments where, because I had a moment like that only with my Penny Dreadful review where they did the opposite, right? So I was coming off of that, watching this, and they took a while to highlight this tension before shit broke down. So I'm thinking I'm going to get that same moment. Granted, one is 55 minutes and the other one is 25. So I'm like, they could have prolonged it or said, oh, there's a complication. Oh, no. Or she could have like wiped her forehead, something. She's just like, whoo, brain surgery is easy. All right, let's go. She's not even certified. Come on.
Wasn't the droid helping do it though?
Yeah, the droid was doing the scans, but he wasn't reaching into the dude's head to pull out the chip.
It'd be cool if she just used the Force to suck it out through his nose.
Oh man, I would have definitely had some issues with that. And I mean, I was a hospital corpsman in the service, so when I see things where they do like rushed procedures, it kind of just gets me because I'm like, even under fire, there's no one in the world who would be that smooth and calm doing brain surgery.
So I'm just saying, like you have no problem with your favorite
how many people that are under fire carry a lightsaber?
I mean, a knife. Okay, apples and oranges, but I mean, come on, that's like a galaxy's far, far away's version of a knife.
I mean, you don't have an issue with your favorite anime cartoon coming out of nowhere, defeating the bad guy in the last 2-3 minutes. Why should he have a problem with this?
With one punch.
Exactly. Goku using half a punch to defeat somebody.
Yeah, but remember, LB, it took like 8 episodes just to get to that one punch, because like the first 8 was just him telling him what he was gonna do.
Fair enough.
So I mean, there was still
LB. I was making a joke about One Punch Man.
Yes,
I mean, I don't watch, so I just had to take your word for it.
Yeah, so we could all agree though, a lot of this is small nitpicks. Some of
Mhm.
PB stuff is really, for me, left field.
You're a left field.
Like I would have even that whole thing with the clones running past them wouldn't have even registered in my mind because you've seen so many movies. And PB, I point this out to you. New Hope. Come on, man. How many times did they run past Luke Skywalker? I'm just saying. They literally had a small
Those are
bulkhead they were all huddled
stormtroopers.
against.
Those
And a
are
whole,
stormtroopers, not clone troopers.
I mean, still, they don't have good peripherals in those helmets. You can only see out the front.
Stormtroopers are the kind of people where they take somebody who works in sanitation and they take them down to murder a village.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. So, let's get to our grades.
Clone
Let's
troopers are
see.
supposed to know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, you know, everyone has their off days.
Especially the 501st.
So let's go down the line here. Let's get you guys' rating system, see where you guys put this. Let's start with LB. Where do you rate this from 1 to 10?
A 10.
Nice.
Mm.
Nice. Good. Awesome.
Like, look, it's not the perfect 10, but it's a 10. And-
So it's 10, but it's not a Bo Derek. Gotcha.
Like, this is like, let's see, Prime Halle Berry versus Prime Beyonce. That's the 10 right there. You know, you can't go wrong here.
That
good
is the
option.
greatest analogy I've heard ever.
like Bert said earlier on, like, you know, great episode, but I like the previous ones better. This is bringing it all full circle right now. Like, the past four episodes is like Halle Berry in a prime, Beyonce in a prime, let's see, Carmen Electra in a prime, Pamela Anderson in a prime. Yeah, I mean, you might like a little bit less one day, but you can't go wrong.
Right. You're still winning.
Yeah, you still win. I'm still winning with this episode.
Hashtag winning. PB, I'm expecting some kind of ridiculous answer from you. What is your rating on this?
9.2.
Oh, well, I'm not like a weird villain and I go like, oh, it's a 7, but it's trash. I wouldn't do something like that. I would say that this episode's it's probably an 8.5.
Wow.
He
Hey.
took a whole point off because Maul was getting attacked by the clones and there wasn't enough lightsaber fights.
Not enough lightsaber battle. There was no space battle or dogfight or anything like that. There was a lot of talking for what was supposed to be, at least in my eyes, an episode that should have had more action.
That's a fair assessment, yeah. And we know you weren't happy about the clones getting steps. I don't know why.
I mean,
They gotta stay
8.5
healthy.
is still a good number.
No, I mean, I didn't think you would rate it, a 7 or a 6. But it's
That's
interesting.
like Halle Berry and Beyonce not in their prime. They're still pretty good.
All right, Mr. Burt, where would you put this episode in your ratings?
It's 9.5 because the last one I believe was a 10, and you gotta have something to judge it by, and it's not my favorite episode in this arc, so it can't be a 10. But it's unbelievable, and like you said, we're winning. I still loved it. It's just not my favorite one.
That's a pretty reasonable 9.5. It didn't resonate as much as the previous episode. I like that. Me, myself.
This idiot's going to say 11.
You see, building up suspense. Actually, I am going to give this a 10,
Hmm.
but not a perfect 10 for a lot of the reasons that you guys brought up. But I still think that it is a 10 out of 10 because it builds the tension from the last two episodes very well. Like it keeps that momentum going. And yeah, there was some talking and things like that, but I never felt like I was taking out of everything that was going on. I loved the Easter eggs in it, and just for the hallway scene alone was just outstanding. Like when I got those flashbacks of playing Force Unleashed, I was already hitting a 10 right there. Like it was just like, wow, this is the most, because here's the thing in
Who were
Star
you
What?
Wars.
Hold on, hold on.
assaulting?
What do you know about hitting tens?
Quite a bit. But I mean, you know, this is one of those episodes where I appreciate the callbacks. I appreciate the use of the Force, and I like seeing what Jedi's do without their lightsaber, and I especially like, or I'm sorry, he's a Sith, but I also like seeing using the world around them and manipulating it
Mhm.
and still being able to take out a bunch of people. Like it doesn't feel like they need the lightsaber. They could use other things and still be deadly. And you always hear the talks in the Star Wars universe, how great the Jedi are, and it's great to see these displays to show the power that the Jedi had. And it's kind of ironic how they get beat so easily by simply catching them off guard. I mean, all of this power, and it's displayed here beautifully, all of this power, but if you catch someone in the back with a blaster bolt, they can't do nothing.
I mean, that's kind of realistic when you think about it, because like you do kung fu or whatever it is that you say you do, right? But
Yeah,
imagine somebody runs up on you from behind with a pistol and attacks you. Your martial
yeah.
arts ain't gonna help you there.
Right, you're gonna get pistol whipped real good, Zod.
Um, there was when I was in the service, there was always a thing where they taught us how to fight in close combat, but in real life, realistically, if you're in a situation where you're in a gun battle, all of the hand-to-hand combat skills you have don't mean dick against a bullet or anything with reach. Even a knife, like my master or myself, we're trained in knife defense. We can disarm a knife, but we always say run because, yeah, 50% of the time I can take the knife out of your hand. There's also 50% of the time where I'm not going to be quick enough to grab you. And if you stab me in a vital spot, all of my skills ain't going to mean shit if I'm bleeding. So, I mean, when you're dealing with weapons and you have nothing, there is always that disadvantage. The Force is just an extreme advantage, sure, but they're just like anyone else. A lucky blaster bolt, and Maul wouldn't have been able to do much of anything. So
What do you mean?
I like
Kylo
it.
Ren could still fight.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. I mean, that's the thing that I kept
Hey,
on
hey, hey,
expecting.
hey, hey. I know this is your stream, but let's not go down that route. We're having a good time talking about Clone Wars right now.
This is my only inconsistency. How come like Maul didn't just catch the deflector or deflected the bolts back? I like to see something like that, just to see it utilized somewhere
Mhm.
else besides
I
the
thought
new
that's what he
trilogies.
was gonna do for a moment.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going too, because that would have been cool to see. But it is what it is. What can we say? So, and King Sloan, I was in the Navy, so I was
In the
in the Navy.
Navy.
I was a hospital corpsman detached with special teams, and I was also vehicle board search and seizure
People
or
relied on you to
VBSS.
save their lives.
Yeah.
Basically,
Oh my God.
if you don't know what he just said, he's the guy from Taken.
Ah,
Yeah, I could do a couple of different things, but yeah, and so when I watch things like this and I see fight scenes, that kind of thing, I got a good aspect, and I'm very tough, especially with live action in particular, and the way they do choreograph. I'm very tough on action scenes because I realistically, even with gun shooting and stuff, it's like if someone shoots past 12 rounds, I'm like, come on, the clip's empty. Let's drop it and reload it. I hate the phantom bullet where they shoot all their rounds and you count it, and then there's one more round that they shoot out, and it's like, or two, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? So, yeah, but all in all, this was a pretty solid episode. I enjoyed it. Let's go to our predictions segment. We are near the end. What are we predicting that the end game is? Because if I'm not mistaken, they're heading to Coruscant, and they did the whole light speed deal. I assume no one slowed down or stopped the ship. So where do you guys think that this is leading? And I'll go down the line and kind of get your thoughts. LB, where do you think this is all leading to? Are they going to get to Coruscant? Is she going to see the Jedi Temple? Is it going to be confined to the ship?
I am predicting this will lead to tears coming down Bert's face at the end of the episode.
Oh, I see that happening. I feel like I'm going to be like that dorky guy who cries when he watches the trailers. You know what I'm talking about with the glasses?
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm not that kind of person, but it might happen.
Yeah,
Because
they might get me for one tier.
Yeah, something like the eyes might get watery. Something might happen. I'll have to turn the camera off. But man, I don't know. Like, I really don't know where they're gonna go with this episode. I can't even call it, to be honest with you. Like, oh man, this is a tough one, man. You put me on the spot here. I'm pretty sure Rex and Ahsoka is gonna try to figure out ways. Okay, how can we get out of this alive? I mean, we know they get out of it alive, but how will they do it? Is what I'm guessing. So I'm assuming that's what we'll see. I hope they get like Anakin and not Anakin, what Darth Vader now, and Ahsoka. Like, I don't think they'll cross paths, but like maybe a vision or something that she sees he's like what he's done, and he's like there's no saving him, and she's like, all right, I'm out, bro. Like kind of like how in Deathly Hallows Part 2 with the Malfoys, they're like, you know what, bro, I'm done with this, I'm out. That's what I need from Ahsoka and Rex.
I love the Harry Potter reference. Yeah, I forgot they dipped. Is like, well, should we help them? Nah, right. HP's got it.
The Malfoy straight dipped like Wong did it in Infinity War. He's like, man, they like, I'll catch y'all. I'm out, man. I'm done with this.
Well, they're still flying towards Coruscant. Which signal are they going to be receiving from the temple? Are they going to be getting the signal that says all Jedi return? Or are they going to be getting the signal that says it's a trap, go away?
Maybe they'll get the bat signal.
Because I was wondering if she's going to cross paths with either Yoda, Obi-Wan, Senator Organa, somebody from that crew, right, and they're going to tell her where to go.
Yeah, it has to be. That has to happen. Like something like that is probably the most likely thing to happen. I like your thinking.
I've been predicting since like last week or the week before that the series would end with Ahsoka and Darth Maul going out on their own to kill Sidious, and that like leaves room for them to meet on the Mandalorian, and that's just what I think is going to happen.
Very interesting. So you think that
there's a chance.
Well, what a bunch of losers! They couldn't even beat a baby.
Well, I think that the lady who is the Mandalorian's boss, who forges his armor, I think her name's the Armorer. I think she was the one who was above Maul in the ship in the last episode, and she, so I think she'll be the connection between Ahsoka and Maul and the Mandalorian when that happens. But I also think there's a chance we'll see Moff Gideon, the Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, Gus Fring. He's in The Mandalorian. He's Grand Moff Gideon in that show. I think we'll see him in this last episode, and I also think there's a chance we'll see Mace Windu lived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh. I mean, he was falling quite a great deal going, "Ah!"
Maybe
The
Ahsoka will
Marquez
catch him.
sisters. The Marquez sisters save on Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
God, that's a diversity train. Oh man. Oh, that within itself would be a great comedy show. Mace Windu.
Just Mace Windu with one arm going to Pound Town on the Martez sisters.
Oh gosh. I don't even know if I want to see that. Maybe it's like one of those things where you can't help but to look at a train wreck. I would definitely. I think that'd be hilarious to see, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping for her to go back to the temple in some sort of an attempt to save what she can, and to maybe not cross paths with Anakin, but maybe get there a little bit before he does his mass murder of children, and try to fight off the clones, and then realize that she's outnumbered and like have to flee, and like maybe just miss him as he comes in on his ship about to do his murder of the children bit.
You think she has fleas?
I said flee.
Just
yeah,
one flea. Okay.
and I think that it'll be interesting to see too, because when you watch Rebels, her and Rex depart at some point. So it'd be interesting to see whether they depart wherever they get to where they're going, or if they depart off the ship. Like he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. You go ahead and do that. I'm out. I'm gonna live a life and get married and get fat and with my other clone buddies."
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask y'all: do you think Ahsoka and Rex have a thing, or Maul and Ahsoka have a thing?
Maul and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I think Maul and Ahsoka have that underlining sexual tension, where you got those two people who say they hate each other, but then it's just like, come on, y'all, get a room.
Because let's be real now. Ahsoka's getting to that age, where
Dude, Ahsoka totally wants Maul's dark saber.
Yep.
But now that I think about it, he did get half of his body cut off, so yeah.
Yeah, that means he can go all night. It's mechanical.
Yeah.
Don't cut the D off.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, that'd be interesting because he does have a lower half, but is it mechanical? Did they put all the plumbing back?
Or does he use the Force? Oh! Oh.
They're going to have some Demolition Man style sex.
With the little headset.
Yeah. This was established in The Last Jedi, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't going there. We ain't going there.
He's an excellently called American.
Oh man, that would be a total callback I would never want to see. It'd be like, oh, why are we making this connection? Literally. So anyways, that's pretty much the episode. This has been a really fun discussion. It's really interesting hearing everybody's points of views and getting different perspectives of what we took out of this episode. We got the final episode ever coming on tonight, and I say ever with quotation marks because I think they're going to do something else. That's just me. I still got the tinfoil cowboy hat on. I think that they're not done. I think we're going to get a movie, or we're going to be like, surprise, we got a little bit more to tell you. Like, let's go see what this person was doing. I don't know. I just feel like after the numbers come out, Disney is all about making money, and they're going to be like, hey, this was really well received. Let's do season 7.0 or 7.1. You know how they do those part 1 and part 2.
I know how they do it. You obviously do not.
Listen here, wise ass. Anyways,
what's up?
So this has been a really great discussion. We're gonna start to wind stuff down. Uh, there's nearly no much left in the episode. I'm thinking that we should all convene and get together when this season wraps up and talk about the season as a whole and just go through, give all our thoughts on all of the season as a whole, all of the different episodes,
Talk
whether or
about
not they fit.
episodes 1 through 4 and 9 through 12.
Yeah, just rate it overall as a season, and what we loved, what we didn't love, the highlights of just like a big celebration. I might do one of these tomorrow night because they decided to release an episode tonight, and I really want to keep up to date with that and do a season or a episode 12 review. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, I'm gonna go down the panel. You guys can give your channel, let us know where we can find you, what cool projects you got coming up, all that good stuff. Let's start with the loneliest man on the panel, Mr. LB. What do you got coming up like after we get done with this?
Man, I'm finna go watch this Last Dance documentary, then go do my review for that episode. Then got the Clone Wars coming up. Gonna do the live watch along and then reaction for that. Then I'm gonna watch the Mandalorian behind the scenes thing that they're doing and do a review for that. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern time, May the 4th, we're doing a New Hope watch along. So if you wanna watch me watch Star Wars and talk and hang out, join us, because I ain't seen that movie in over the longest and I don't remember much of it. So that'll be interesting. That's about it on the Lonely Banter, people, of course.
Hell.
Nice. And of course, Mr. Burt, it's been a pleasure to have you on tonight and to have you make a guest appearance on Late Night Talks. We had a blast. It was really, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was the bee's knees, man. I've been thanks for inviting me on to do the stuff with you guys. It's been a good times this last couple of weeks, bro. It's good to have actual real discussions about this shit with different people, man. So you can check out my channel and make great content.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
his channel is K-Log, or you can just search Kermit the Log and you'll find it.
Facts.
Absolute facts. And of course, the commander, the co-host, and the person who is never ever late for any stream, always on time, Mr. Pop Culture PB. Go ahead and tell them about your channel.
That's correct. I am never late, and I'll tell them about a channel called Prophets of Geek Culture, where you can find me, General Zod, Hurt Minded, Stevie J Reviews, and Cybernetic Husky, talking about all things pop culture. So if you're sick and tired of listening to people bitch and complain about stuff that they're not actually upset about, come over to our channel and check it out. And if you like the content, subscribe. We don't need any dead subs.
Yeah.
Hell.
Absolutely. You got anything going on over at Pop Culture PB?
I mean, maybe. I'm
Maybe.
working on the next episode of MCU March Madness. It'll be out at some point in the future. It's only May.
Yeah, it's only May, people.
Awesome. And of course, you guys have been here chilling with Zod. I gotta say, I'm a little bit exhausted doing back-to-back streams, but I'm a glutton for punishment. Next Sunday, I will be doing Penny Dreadful season 4, episode 3. I'm gonna be doing my live review, and I'm gonna interact with you guys, get your thoughts on the seasons, ask questions, things like that. Took notes, which I haven't done in years, break stuff down. And then right afterwards, I don't know what I'm going to do at night because there's going to be no Clone Wars. Maybe we'll do a big season overview. I'll see. We'll do a giant just wrap up for the season and let you guys know.
Batwoman's still on.
Oh, fuck me. I'm not that desperate. TV, I can't even get through one episode, man. I struggled with episode 1. I got to episode 2 and it just got worse.
Oh,
I find myself getting more and more angry.
That Sophie's in a silver dress. Just watch that one.
Okay. I don't mind Sophie. As long as she's not talking, she's okay. But yeah, I got that. and I got a review coming out on Extraction, which I just watched. Let me just tell you, Chris Hemsworth can act, and I'll give you my reasons why. He's actually pretty damn good in the movie. And I'm gonna do some other different things. And over at Prophets of Geek Culture, you can catch my latest comic book review I'm gonna have up on the Joker. The people have spoken, and I am just currently cutting together the different panels, and I'm gonna review that
Who
book
was
for you
talking
guys.
through your peephole?
What's that?
You said the peephole has spoken?
Yeah. The poll
Who was
went very
talking
well. I
through
had
it?
to
That's disturbing. You're not supposed to talk through a peephole. You're just supposed to peep.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I might do more polls. So I'm gonna do some Twitter polls and ask you guys to vote. I'll put 2 comics up, and whichever one you guys vote on, that's the one I'll review. So, I enjoyed doing that, and I'm enjoying going through the books. I also got some reviews on some new books coming out. DC's finally releasing comics, so I'm gonna have a review up on the new Heavy Metal. I believe it's issue like 3 or so, and a couple of other ones. So stay tuned for that. Thank you everybody for watching. Remember the only rule here in the fandom car: kneel before your General Zod.
Fuck no, mate.